But I would be shocked, absolutely shocked if something.
Hi friends! Today, as always, we will be discussing the crypto market and everything related to it. We have chosen only the best for you. Enjoy watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
I'm sensing from you that whether it comes from an escalation in the Middle East, whether it comes from an escalation with China and Taiwan, whether it's the European situation, Russia, Ukraine, or some other flashpoint that gets out of hand, or a major cyber attack, which is certainly a probability, it doesn't matter because to you, all roads lead to Bitcoin. So let's unpack that. Why Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin your safe haven in all of this uncertainty?
Well, first off, it's a product it's an invention. Let's think about this as an invention, right? As a 21st century invention that happened just to show up at the right time, the right place to solve some problems that we've never, at least in America's history of 180 years or whatever it is, we haven't been able to deal with some of these issues. So we have a 15-year chart. I removed the first 8 years, and I have a 7-year chart that looks very, very impressive. A 5-year chart on Bitcoin is about 600% increase. Greatest performing asset in that period of time. Only nearly followed closely by Tesla. So it's not like we're back into 2008, 2013 when Bitcoin was really, really nascent and young. We're the 21st century, 2023. We've got 8 years behind us of decent volume. We have an ETF being launched here. I maintain that in the next 2 weeks, this will be looked upon as one of the greatest investment opportunities that allowed you and I and your children, your aunt, your sister, wherever they live in the world, to front run institutional funding into an asset class that has not been available to them, has not been understood by them, has been poo-pooed and naysayed by them. It's the only time in history I know that you and I and my mom could front run Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, BlackRock, and that ends in 2 or 3 weeks. Once this ETF is launched, it's over, okay? The window for you front running the large banks is done. The invention itself is the only finite product I know of, other than you and me. You and I are the only true finite, unique, peculiar personalities. The problem with you and I is we die. There's problems with us. People can shoot us. I get involved with the wrong woman. I go crazy, right? So that's a problem with my uniqueness. You're laughing, but you understand. Bitcoin doesn't have that. Bitcoin has all the similar, that you can't produce more Bitcoin no matter what the price is. And that's what I love about the gold, silver, and crude oil players, and in fact, real estate players. I have been surprised that more real estate, gold, and silver players haven't really gotten this very, very quickly. But if you think about being able to buy the finest, what do they say about real estate? Location, 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 right? Well, that means something. That means, that has better value than other real estate. Well, there's only one Bitcoin. There's unlike real estate or crude oil, which if we take crude oil to $120, you're going to produce a lot of crude oil that wasn't available yesterday, right? You will do a lot of things to get that crude oil out of the ground at $120. With Bitcoin, that is not achievable. Okay, you cannot accelerate the production of the last 2 million into the marketplace. So you can't bring new supply to the market. You can only unlock the supply that's being held in my wallet right now, which I've been collecting over the last 4 years, and I still don't think I have enough. But I think there's going to come a time when, of the 19 million units that have been issued, there's a lot of wealthy people. I think 85% of the super wealth on this planet hasn't invested a penny into Bitcoin. Not a penny.
Well,
and they already have allocations to gold, crude oil, NVIDIA. You can go by the top 7 companies. I think these people have massive allocations to bonds, to real estate. My brother has massive real estate positions. Cool. You're not going to have any Bitcoin. You're going to have real estate, and that's okay, right? There are different investment strategies. Keep in mind, I do have gold. I do own silver. I like silver better than gold, quite frankly. I have ammo. I have guns. I have water. I have food. I live on the Gulf, so I can fish if I need to. My family, I have done my job as an alpha male to protect my family. Now my job is, can I protect their future, their ability to buy and to survive in an economy that's pretty weird.
Long live the alpha male, Gary. Let's break this down, though, because you're talking about 2 scenarios that I think we have to dissect Bitcoin's role in these scenarios. If we're looking at Bitcoin in the scenario where you're thinking we could have a major global conflict and we could even have a cyber attack, and hence you've got your gold and silver and guns and access to food and fishing and water. In that doomsday apocalypse scenario, why is Bitcoin where you want to be? Especially if you're saying a cyber attack is a potential for 2024 and beyond. I mean, surely in that scenario, and again, there's another scenario I think Bitcoin is the way to go, but let's start off with this scenario. Why is Bitcoin where you see a safe haven, especially as opposed to gold, for example?
Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to carry $2 million worth of gold around, but it's complex. It's very heavy. In fact, I have $700,000 worth of silver in a vault over there, and it literally takes up the entire vault. Okay, but it's only 700 grand. I couldn't possibly carry all that silver with me. I can't even get on a plane with anywhere near that much silver. So the transportability of silver, I mean, I've done some business with Kitco before. I bought all my silver and gold from Kitco, but sending it back it's problematic. So that for me is the liquidity problem. It's not that gold is not liquid. It's me getting it to the point where it can be liquid. But
in a cyber attack scenario, Gary, is Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Why Bitcoin?
No, but look, I could have bought Bitcoin at $300, and for 2 years I didn't, because I did this. Hey, what if the power goes out? Well, guess what? If the power goes up, you're not going to use your Visa card, your MasterCard, your American Express card, your wireless transactions, Venmo, Ripple. You're not using any of that. That's going down too.
Well, maybe you're using that silver you're lugging around.
You're not going to do wire transfers. You're not going to do ACH. Nothing is going to work. So that's a Mad Max world, right? That's really a scary world. And this is where I disagree with the Bitcoin maxis. I don't want this much adoption of Bitcoin. Okay, the adoption of Bitcoin, where it becomes the standard tomorrow morning, means we are a Mad Max. I'm not a supporter of that. I don't want to hold 500 to 1,000 Bitcoin and go, hey, look at me, man, I got a lot of Bitcoin, but we're all miserable. That is not a good outcome for us. Bitcoin's not going to solve the psychosis of our leaders. I mean, our leaders have gone over the top to really, I think, create more damage than they are a good. So I'm a big believer in, hey, let's hire some non-professional politicians and just give them a chance. I don't think they can screw it up any worse. Look, if I think a cyber attack's coming along tomorrow, this is what I wanted to do. I want to be in cash. I want to be in gold and silver and have a tremendous amount of weapons around me with friends, like a village. So I keep telling everybody, hey, y'all come on down to St. Pete, man. If you're a God-fearing person and you're good, come on down to St. Pete, because I need a bigger neighborhood of great people.
I can handle a weapon, Gary. I'll see you there.
Come on. That's what we need, okay? That's what we need. I'll teach you how to fish. So then we're good on food and protect our environment. But you can't really live that way, can we? We can't live like, okay, we're going to have a cyber attack tomorrow morning. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. It would be a way we would not have an election, though. That would absolutely be a way. And that's why I bring up the pipelines, because we should be asking ourselves, who blew those pipelines up? Okay, who blew the dam up that we don't even talk about anymore? Who escalated that event in Israel that just happened to come along at the very tail end of the Ukraine thing? So I think there's somebody stirring this stuff up, and I can't live that way and worry about it. I have to believe that, someone is sane minds are finally going to come about, but you cannot keep pushing morphine and heroin into this body, free capital, just print. And at some point we don't have some reckoning, right? Like, real estate goes up because there's a production of US dollars. Most of the value in real estate going up over time is because dollars continue to be printed, period. That's the only reason real estate's doubled. And for me, that's the inverse with Bitcoin. I can literally go, okay, I have a play here with Bitcoin that allows me to, if I'm wrong, then the US dollar and the market's wonderful. NVIDIA's at $8 million a share. Google's an $8 trillion company, and my Bitcoin's worth nothing. Okay, that's my worst case. My best case is, I got it right. We're going through a massive change from analog to digital in everything, both in mental and in physical. And Bitcoin seems to me to be better suited to serve that marketplace, because I think you and I are going to we will own robots, and those robots will actually trade currency with each other. Let's say we both have assistants. Those robots are going to trade micro dollars, micro some value between each other for, setting up a lunch, getting you a plane ticket down here, whatever we're doing. Why are we doing that? It would be much better for a robot to do it and for you and I to pay that robot so that we're able to use the future rental economy. See, I really believe we should be in a rental lease, pay for it as you use it, because if you pay for something as you use it, I think it helps better control how you consume it and how you waste it. And I think there's a lot of waste going on, which is probably a whole conversation, but I think we're probably 30% underpriced on all energy in the United States and Canada. 30%, at least 30% underpriced on the real value of electricity and energy. Otherwise, you would turn your laptop off at night. No one turns anything off in the Western countries. No one. That tells me energy is not priced correctly. That tells me there's too much of energy. Right? If we're wasting it.
I guess that is a way to extrapolate that theory if you're not turning off all of your appliances, although my energy bill would say otherwise. Let's bring it back to Bitcoin, and on the idea of energy and a cyber attack. There are Bitcoin maxis that would say that in the event of a cyber attack, the traditional financial system goes offline for a while and people's money potentially is lost. But for those that are true Bitcoiners and have their Bitcoin in cold storage, when things settle down, they're able to come out when the dust settles and interact with their Bitcoin, because a cyber attack will assumably be a temporary thing. We're not going to be offline forever. And whilst the financial institutions are reeling from that and funds are lost and accounts are lost, if you're a true Bitcoiner and you've had your Bitcoin, as I say, in cold storage, you're able to then reconnect when the dust settles and use your Bitcoin. So I think that is the Bitcoin Maxi's answer to why Bitcoin during a cyber attack. But of course, you've got